Hey everybody, I'm on for the midweek message reveal Wednesday, May 22nd. All right, welcome to the energy of the week. We've got a lot moving as we have moved from Aries season into Taurus. Now we are in Gemini season. Gemini territory is light and airy as the babies of the air signs, the very first ones to come through. They bring a certain sort of electricity to themselves that fills up a room, very much in their duality. They can be one moment coy and the next minute, super emo. And it never ceases to amaze me that Geminis are always the life of the party. They can always find friends in groups of strangers, can always talk about multiple topics, have really great conversational skills, very inter and intrapersonal. And that energy is coming through right now. So if you're feeling a bit more calm, but at the same time a little frenetic, that's some of that Gemini energy coming through that is going to be working with our communication. Now, tomorrow we have a full moon in Sagittarius. And this full moon in Sagittarius is extra power packed because Sagittarius is wanting us to zoom out and get that macro lens and see the big picture. And if we're wanting to see the big picture when we're in an airy sort of space with Gemini, that is wanting us to communicate and really get connected to the child within, and at the same time address the imbalances and dualities and know that you can be both and instead of one or the other, and embracing the aspects of our shadow selves as well, I find is connected to Gemini energy. It makes for an opportunity and a moon that we can really release and prepare ourselves for what we truly want. This is where we're going to stand up and speak for it. So if you're finding now that if you are in a space where if you speak something out, whether it's a pro or a con about a thing, it almost immediately manifests into something right in front of your face. We have the energy of creation happening right now, good or bad. So be really monitoring what it is that you're thinking and speaking, and pay attention to being more in the moment and allow yourself to be doing things that are more keeping you in a sense of flow and non-reactivity, because we're really able to create. So when you're really wanting to focus that energy, that's awesome, but make sure that you're in a good focused space to create that, because otherwise sending out mixed signals, we're really kind of boomeranging it right back to ourselves. All right, so I'm going to jump into the cards, and we had interesting cards this week. It was very deep, which has a lot of emotional energy around it. All right, I'm just going to jump right in. All right, so if you chose one, almost done with this finger thing. Here we go. Your card is 33 soul fragments. Balance will be restored. $33 automatically, in my mind, makes me think of Jesus and Jesus Sananda, the concept of Christ and Christ consciousness. And when we're talking about the soul and its ability to fragment, it's almost a situation where, one, you may be dealing with feeling a sense of separation or a detachment, or even recognizing that there is an attachment to something, whether it's a something that's become more of a habit. Maybe it could be in the substance realm. It could be in a doing something too much. You've noticed a pattern, rather. It doesn't necessarily have to be a negative thing, but this pattern is something that you've kind of allowed yourself to sink into. And through that, when we are experiencing a desire for more and a want for that depth within ourselves, we get to a place where we're trying to deeply reconnect. So you might be finding that you're having that feeling of a push-pull, that you're unable to make that connection. Maybe you're also feeling a sense of like a detachment from your spiritual self. That's coming through pretty strong. It's making my nose itch. This is temporary. There's a lot of balancing that's happening here, I'm hearing. And this balancing that is occurring within yourself is getting you to a place where you understand the nuances of what it means to be you. it's almost like I can feel the frustration, one, that you're having with yourself over things that you've done, or behaviors that you've enacted, or things that you've maybe spoken too quickly on, or not acted soon enough. There's a lot of coulda, shoulda, wouldas, and real big feelings around those things, and it's a sense of fragmentation. Now 33 is, it's double ascended master number of 3, but it's also a 6, and 6 is asking for balance. So what is being asked of you, one, by your spirit team, is to get into a state where you can pay attention more to the fact that you are not in alignment. So things in your world are not going to be in alignment because you are the baseline. So what you're putting out there, and maybe even through the coping mechanisms of dealing with what you're going through in your life, are causing you to maybe overindulge or overexert or under, so on and so forth. You see the duality with Gemini here. You are recognizing that pattern, and now it's time to do something about it. Okay, so get back into that state of balance, and you'll be able to be in a space where you can bring into your reality what it is you want to manifest. That's why you keep getting blocked. Okay, so I hit myself in the face. Okay. If you chose 2, your card is spiritual evolution. Look how beautiful. I'm drawn most to the birds, and there are 3. There's one very faintly here as well. 1, 2, 3. Okay. These are aspects of the past, the present, and the future is how I'm interpreting it and how it's feeling to me. 35, that's an 8. 8s are abundance. They also are loops in the karmic web. I see 8s, you flip it on its side, it's the infinity symbol. Okay, so what you are experiencing is a shift. You're experiencing a shift in how you connect, who you believed you were, who you connected yourself to be previously, and you're starting to understand that you can and are more and more and more. So much so that you are wondering if you reach this new level of, oh shit, I understand something, that I am more than just this version of myself. I am all versions. I can be and do anything because you are the master creator. It's almost like you're able to fast forward to yourself and see how this elevated version of you could even have another perspective and another perspective. I'm seeing like the Russian dolls, the nesting dolls, when they're inside themselves, and it's smaller and smaller inside this bigger thing. Okay, so the past, the present, and the future are all in play here. You need to release some feelings that you have in the heart space, and I do feel some constriction. It's also up here in the jaw a little bit, in the throat. It's almost difficulty kind of catching my breath. There's some anxiety that's creeping up there too, around, there's like a grief. There's something that has ended, that's ending, and it's tied to a nostalgic time. And it's almost as if you're able to see now how much you are a different version of you than you were what seemed so recently. You have made that shift. Continue to keep that perspective and try and stay in the center, which would be the present bird. Past, present, future. Okay? It is elusive and hard to see, but you're already aligned to it if you just allow yourself to kind of bring yourself back into the present moment. If you're feeling a little anxious, if you're feeling down, if you're feeling unmotivated, take a moment and gather yourself and focus on your breath. Get yourself into a state of centeredness and allow yourself to kind of move through it. You're going to be okay. And you're going to be helping others by talking about it. And that's not something that you see yourself doing yet, but you will. And that's going to be really cool. All right, 3. If you chose 3, whoa, in your face. Ribbit. This is Shield Your Energy, 32. Look beneath the surface. Okay, so I know there's a big ass toad right here. And it makes me think of ayahuasca and Cambo and toad medicine and all of that trippy stuff. And you know, how could you not get more trippy than with like the helixes and stuff here in the background? But this is screaming out to me, this little cluster here of what looks like, you know, hexagons. It's the connection to the honeycomb and the hive mind. You bought into a lot of stuff that people have been telling you, 3, and you're onto it now. Like you're not naive. You are aware. And you kind of felt like you had to try on all these hats and you had to do all these things and jump through these hoops in order to get people to like you or listen to you or prove that you're a team player or something. It had something to do with that. And you're over it. You're past it. You're over the game playing and the bullshit. And that change is something that you are bringing through by connecting yourself more to the units and the expansion of yourself as a multidimensional being. Okay? So you have a community of people in your life that genuinely are feeding you good information and that are good for you. And you're starting to be able to weed out who is truly rooting for you and who is somebody who is really kind of in it for themselves or trying to make it look like they are cool with everybody. Nobody's cool with everybody unless you're chopping off pieces of yourself to make yourself fit everybody's perception of you. And maybe some of that is something that you're seeing that you used to do that you no longer do. You've moved into a different state where you're having to actually enact on you're having to stand up and stand behind your boundaries. And it's a beautiful thing, and life is giving you an opportunity through these things that keep cropping up and causing you to have to set a boundary that's not super comfy, but you're doing it. Just pay attention to who you're giving your time to and said energy to, because not everyone wants what's best for you. And you're learning that, and you don't have to learn it a hard way. But you really want to reflect on what it is that you're giving, because you're losing a lot of your jelly beans. I have a friend who calls your energy stores your jelly beans. Like, you're losing your store of jelly beans, man. And you want to make sure that you have those so you have some more for later, because you want to like gradually dose yourself with that. You can trust yourself better now. So that's the other message. Don't give yourself such a hard time. Okay? Be cool. All right. Those are the messages this week. Would love to hear how they land for you. So please leave me some feedback. Would love to work with you. So please reach out to me. You can send me an email. You can reach out to me through DMs and all that other jazz. I'm all over the place. Facebook, YouTube, Insta, yada, yada. So feel free to reach me there. Otherwise, check my website, and I would love to schedule time to work with you and help you on whatever it is that you'd like to open yourself a bit more to or delve into. It's always my jam. Wishing you a really great rest of the week, and really take advantage of the moon. This is a really beautiful energy, even though it's heavy. It's heavy because it's really good at sloughing off the rest of the stuff. So if you have things that you're wanting to tie up, and at the same time you're ready to cast off whatever funk that you've tied up for yourself, you can release it best tomorrow. So wishing you all the best. Have a wonderful week. Peace.